Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Mike, and welcome to the Wave Pod. New episode, new week. First and foremost, I want to shout out to all my Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners. Shout out to YouTube gang, and make sure you guys go spam those 5 stars in Apple Podcasts. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the topic of today is how to make friends on college. It was one of the requests that I did a while back. I asked for topics and people putting them in. So if you ever have a topic, make sure you leave it in the comments section on my Instagram, and that's the.wavepod. So yeah, now I got my guests in here today. I got Ty. So shout out to Ty. So say what's up to everybody, Ty. All
What's
right.
up? What's up?
So let's just dive right into the topic of the day. So making friends on a college campus. So say for instance, how do you go about making friends on a college campus?
Well, how I first made my first friends starting out freshman year is through my roommates. My roommates were on campus before I was, so they had already had a friend group, and I kind of got introduced to them through that. And that's if you know Jeremy, right, from playing basketball and stuff. Like Jeremy is one of those people I met, and that's kind of how it starts. Is if you have someone you know on campus, ask them. Like that's a good way to first get yourself introduced to new people. I would say is probably the quickest way to get another friend or another contact connection is just through someone you already know.
That's true. I can see that. Well, actually, from my experience, I was already in like I came in the summer, so I met a lot of people there through there and different activities. So like how you mentioned playing basketball, that's one way you can make good friends, constantly doing the things that you like on college campuses. People don't realize how many clubs it actually is on like a college campus. It's so many clubs. It's a club for everything here, really. So
Literally
yeah,
anything, any kind of interest you have is there's probably a club for it. Like
yeah,
they got Nerf battles that happen outside of walk and stuff. Like there's shit you would never think of.
yeah. So yeah, definitely. Wait, give me one. Okay, and we're back. So just had a little technical difficulties. Some of the things work like that. But yeah, yeah, making friends on college campus. I started off in the summer, so I was with a group of people, and then it just expanded. It's like once you meet one person, you meet another, and it goes on along like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let me see. Where can I go with this? Um, it's something I want to say, but it's like I
No, I
didn't
know
come.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like I want to say like how I want to tie it back into the interest thing. So I was gonna say like how how have like your interests changed within like being in college, and how has that like affected you being around friends and stuff like that?
Hmm. Um, well, when I first came, like I liked basketball. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like something I did all the time or like I was super interested in doing a lot. But like for me, like basketball is really like a big part of college now. Like it's like where all most of my friends, not all, but most of my friends came from is basketball, and it's just like I just like being active and stuff like that. So we all go and do stuff, and now it's like a good group of people that I have together, and that's nice. But other than that, it's like I guess just a little bit of like some of the stuff I used to do kind of like filtered out because like it's just I don't have time for it anymore. It's like there's more things I need to focus on. So a lot of like the stuff from high school I used to do, like just like little stuff, like I'd collect certain things or I'd go certain places I don't really do anymore. But that's just because like I don't have time for it. I just need to put my time into something else. So some things that I guess aren't as important to you kind of filter out as you go through college. But like then you really see what you really like to do because those things stay consistent.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then like I noticed how you said like finding time. That's part of some people's problem when like trying to find friends here or any college campus, because everybody's so into diving into their own books and stuff like that, that they don't take time out sometimes to actually be social. And so my question to you would be, how do you manage your time between like schoolwork and friendships and all of that?
Well, yeah, time is something that you can't come by too often. But I would say one of the biggest things that help is get some friends that are like in your major or like in your classes, because then you can multitask studying while hanging out with people. And that's a good way to make friends. And then you have friends who will go through the process with you your whole college career. So it's like if you make friends in the major you're in, then those friends will always be there if you need help with classes, or like no offense, but like you or any of my other friends don't that like I play basketball with wouldn't understand like my schoolwork. Like I'm in education, so you might not understand what I'm doing or what I need to do. So it's always nice to have friends who are in that major. So they like if you want per like friend time, but like you need to study, like you guys could all study together.
No,
And
I completely agree. Like that's one of my recommendations as well. Make sure you have friends or at least be acquainted with some people that you know within your major, because it always helps out to like have an additional resource that you know you could text and feel more comfortable talking to, compared to say like a professor or a TA or one of the student assistants or anything, compared to having an actual friend or acquaintance you could just sit up there and talk to, and like they help, you guys can help each other out. So I think that really helps with like building connections as well. And that's another reason why friends are so important, is building connections, because you never know who may know something or a good opportunity or anything really.
yeah, I
That's
agree with
that.
that.
Yeah, that could lead to my next question. Like, has you meeting someone led to an opportunity before, or like an opportunity for like to gain on a professional development or anything like that?
Well, yeah, a couple of people that I work with in my job. That's also a good way. If you have a job, try to get acquainted with coworkers, because those are also good support for you. But some of them have actually like their parents have been teachers, or they know people, like they know teachers really well, and like they've given me an opportunity to reach out to other people, like to teachers, so I can like ask them questions about what I want to do, or get more feedback about what I should be more focused on right now to better help me in the classroom in the future. So, and it's just like it's people you wouldn't expect. Like one of my friends is in aviation, and his mom was a teacher. So then I got to talk to his mom about teaching and some things. And it's just like you never know. It could be the most random connection, but they could know somebody. And that's what you said, is like you never know who knows somebody. So
Yeah,
it's just
for
like,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's very surprising. I have had a couple situations where you never really know who may know someone, and it's crazy because I remember one time I was at these pickup game tournaments, and then like I just sat next to a lady, and then we got to talking, and turns out she knew someone I knew. She knew a friend of mine, and I just made that connection, and that was actually a pretty good moment. It was like all like a really shocker and so random. So it's good to have like friends that you know, and you never really know how like people will come and link into your life. So that's great to hear. Um also, so my question to you would be, how would you approach developing like a friendship, So like friends on like, do you believe in like going up to people and be like, "Hey, I'm so and so, blah blah blah," or do you feel like things should ultimately come naturally? So like, say for instance, you met someone in a class and you guys worked on a project and then it just builds off of that, or how do you feel about that?
I think that there's aspects of both of those situations that you need. Like, I know everyone knows that guy or that girl or whoever just comes up and is like in your face all the time, like,
Like the
I'm here
social
kind of thing.
butterfly, right?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
you know that person. Yeah. That works to make connections. But like, there's also people who don't like that, who are like, that kind of turns them away from you. Like, you're too much. Like, I don't want that much energy. So I guess it's just really like you got to feel a situation out. Like if you feel like they're responding to energy, keep giving them energy, then they'll respond to that. But if you can see them backing away, pull your energy back down. Like because you can tell when someone is interested and wants to talk to you, or when someone's just kind of there and not really engaged with you. So, but like especially projects and stuff, like you said, like if you can build a friendship off of a project, that's the perfect way. You guys will always already have to talk to each other, engage with each other. So that's a good segue to building a friendship, because now you guys are already speaking, and like while you're working on the project, lighten the mood and bring in something that you want to talk about. Just say, hey, like how are your classes going, or just bring that kind of in, and that all will help to build that friendship, because now you can work with each other, but you can also talk to each other like just normal people, like you would never had a project.
And I love the fact that you brought up like somehow some people aren't really social butterflies, but yet they want to maintain friends, and they might actually have a cool personality, but they're just afraid to, actually talk to people. So that could lead me to my next question for you. So say you're like the antisocial person, but like you actually want friends. How would you approach being making yourself more or seem more approachable to somebody, or to develop friendships?
That's a good one. I would just say, like, if you're really like nervous or scared because you're you don't do well in social situations, I would limit your friendships at the beginning. Like, find a couple people who are like-minded like you, or like are the same way. Like, antisocial people can understand each other. So if you can find another person who's not the most social, like, you guys will form a deeper connection. That's what I've seen, is people who aren't very social tend to form deeper connections than maybe someone like me, who I can talk to anybody. And like you've seen that, I can talk to anybody. But
I've seen it. He really can't talk to anyone. So yeah, he really can. That was why when I thought about bringing you on, that's the first thing I was like, okay, Ty's sociable. He can talk to anyone. So I brought you on just so I know, like, I want to actually hear, like, how do you approach going to people as well? Because like being that social butterfly, I would say, like, I don't know. Me personally, I would describe myself as like a in between, because like I typically most of the time won't actually go up to someone, but I would just be like within the circle. So like I would just be within like the actual group of people where I'll be at the party or the function or anything. And I won't really talk, but like once the conversation get going, I'll like contribute in, and then like people actually start coming up to me. So I guess that's one tip I have for everybody as well. Make sure you find a way, even if you are antisocial, to make sure you express your personality, because personality is key.
yeah, if you're just with someone and they're having a conversation, even if you don't speak a lot, speak once. Like,
Exactly.
at least make it a thing to speak once to somebody. Like, you don't have to go out and announce your presence, I'm here, but you can at least say, or like if you see someone doing something you like, hey, I noticed you're reading that book, I love that book. It's just a little thing that starts a conversation. And like, you don't have to necessarily be social to do that. It's not, I guess one of the thing is, like, people who are antisocial feel like it's a lot of pressure on being social, or people putting pressure on them when they're talking. So if you can like tell yourself like, hey, there's no pressure. There's 40,000 kids on this campus. If you talk to someone and they don't necessarily respond to you, odds are you might never ever see them again. So like, don't put that pressure on yourself.
That's actually true, but like think about here. To me personally, I feel like the 40,000 kids here, I see a lot of recurring faces. I don't know if it's because like, but it just feels small here, to be honest with you. So I'll always see a recurring face. I'll be like, or I'll like, even if it's like a year later, I'll just look and be all like, I remember that person from so and so. But I think that's the thing too. You do make a great point. Like, brush it off if someone doesn't want to like actually be your friend or not acknowledging you. Just keep it pushing. You'll eventually find a group of people that you really like, and you'll never know or expect where it actually comes from. So that was a great point that you made as well. um Also, let's bring out some another question. So would you say what would you say is the best place? Because we kind of touched on places. What would you say would be like the best place to like actually make friends?
Let's see. The easiest place to make a friend would be in the classroom because those are people you're going to be with all semester. So I would say the easiest, but most like the best to maybe find friends for you is doing what you said, clubs, things that you like to do. Those are the best friends you make because you already have things in common with that person. Like in a classroom, yeah, you have a major in common or a class in common, but you don't necessarily have interest likes, things that develop into more meaningful friendships. But if you join a club, go play sports, lift at the gym, do something else, like do extracurricular activities, that's when you find like people who are like you. So that's where it's the best friendships come from. But if you're looking for an easy way to find friends, a class is a good place because those are all people in your major. Those are easy connections because you're with them Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 16 weeks.
Yeah, and then like the classroom, I actually have a story about like how I like met some people or like became acquainted with some people. It's just through like the same sharing the same experience that we had. Like my freshman year, I actually had like a calc teacher at one point in time. It was like one of my first classes too I ever took. So like it's fall semester freshman year. I'm taking calc 1, and then we had this professor who was just like always late, like he was 20 minutes late to a 50-minute class and stuff like that. He would always like have certain stuff going on, but he would always be late. And so like the whole class bonded on like sitting in class on time, waiting on him to show up, and he just didn't show. So I think like, and then you would see these people and you'd be like, hey, I remember you from so and so and so and so. And it's like you building that connection, which is really good. And let's see. Let's see. How would you say would you say maintaining friends in high school is different from maintaining friends in college?
Oh, that's a good one. In high school, I don't think you have to put as much effort into maintaining a friendship because you'll see them every day, Monday through Friday. But in college, it's like you both are now busy. Like you have different schedules. Like you might have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays and are free the other days, but they have classes on that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They can't hang out. So I think a big part is knowing, like what I've experienced and what helps me is knowing that I don't have to hang out with you every day. I don't have to speak to you every day. I don't have to see you every day to know that if I need you and I want to hang out with you, you're there. So that is a big thing, is different. In high school, we think, oh, if you're not talking to me every day, if I don't see you after class, like we're not friends anymore. Like it's just I would hate to say it, but it's like a childish mindset that I have to see you all the time. So in college, like don't expect that. Like you're not gonna see someone every single day. It's not gonna happen. But as long as you know that, hey, I don't have to see you, but if you need me, I'm here. And if I need you, I can reach out to you, then you got a friendship. And that maintains that. Just reach out when you want to, like when you feel like, hey, I didn't know, like I have a free time right now. Do you have free time? And they might have free time, and then hang out then. But you don't have to say every day after this class at 3:30, let's do this. Like you don't have to do that.
That's actually pretty true. Um, I like that, but I also have to say too, like one thing that I kind of like notice is how the transitioning from like high school and college, I feel like it's far less like drama from like being in
Oh,
like college
yeah.
friendships compared to being in like a high school friendship,
Mm-hmm.
because of the simple fact that you're not seeing everybody every day, and then like you start picking up on little quirky things or something like that. So that's one thing that I actually noticed, and it's pretty, and it's actually it makes things pretty like, I would say, because high school, think about like how many friends you had in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and think about how many you talk to now.
Yeah.
Significantly smaller, right?
Yeah. But
Yes.
would you also say though that the friendships you have now are a lot more meaningful than in high school?
I I wouldn't necessarily say that because I wouldn't necessarily say that. I see the people in college more than I see the people in high school, but that's because we're like in the same area. So like we kind of got the same things going on. But like my friends, because like I have a small group of friends that like I would consider like my friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so from now till then, I would say like we're pretty much bonded in. Like those are like my lifetime friends. I'm really bonded in with them. It's like I could I could fall out with them all of a sudden, and then like the next day be cool.
Mm-hmm. I would
Or
say,
like yeah, so like my high school friends, like those are like my diehard friends there. So
mhm. Yeah, I would say I agree with you. I have those groups from high school, but I guess what I meant is more like I had way more friends in high school, but a lot of those I don't talk to. None of those were meaningful to me. Like I have, of course, you have your close group of high school friends, but like for the most part, everyone from high school, apart from that group, I don't speak with ever at all.
exactly. And I yeah, exactly. You won't speak to a lot of high school friends. That's advice to all my listeners. Well, some of you may know, a lot of you may know, but you know, if you're out there and you know you're just transitioning into college or high school, a lot of those friends you just won't see because everybody is like at that pivotal point in their life where they're like trying to figure themselves out. So like that's why like I would say right now it would seem like college friends are more meaningful because you guys are all on kind of on that same road together, so you kind of like see each other on that road
Mm-hmm.
compared to like you went here and your high school friends went there, and so like it might take a while for you guys to come back on that same road. So that's one of the things I would have to say too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then like getting out and trying new things as well. So have you tried any new things that led to a friendship or something in college?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I did. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but I did go to. There was this like club activity for something. I don't know if it was the Purdue Dance Marathon or something like that, but
Mhm.
I had never gone to something like that before, or I've never been to this kind of event. And when I went, like I was like overwhelmed a little bit because I've never been there. I didn't know what to do. But then like I kind of, I guess, gravitated towards another person I could see was by themselves, off, like didn't looked overwhelmed, and then from that, then we just started talking. And like once you find that, then I like, oh, I found a friend. Now I don't really talk to that person a whole lot, but like if I ever need something or I can reach out to them and they're still there for me, of course. But it's just like, yeah, always try something new. Like if you can, like you never know what comes from it.
You know one thing we like didn't mention at all, which is
What?
crazy, how you could develop friends in your own like dorm.
Yeah.
Like shout out to all my carry friends, you know, from freshman year. Shout out to all of them. It was actually we were all in the little carry closets, but we made it through. And like it's some memories that went on in there. It's crazy. It's like some great stories that I could always tell, and it's cool because you guys were because we were all going through the same thing together. So that ties around my point. That's just like the overall theme, I believe, of this episode. It's like everybody coming together because we were all going through the same thing.
Mhm.
Like like the closets didn't have AC.
Mhm.
It's 90 degrees in August. It's 90 degrees in August and September. So you just got like hundreds of kids just around there, just like all sweating, and fans are just blowing, and then people got their doors open, and like everybody's just trying to figure out things. And then next thing you know, you'll just have spark a conversation with someone out the blue, and then it just goes along from there. So definitely. Definitely. And like meeting new people and stuff. And you know, talking to your neighbors as well. Like I still talk to a few, matter of fact, I still talk to a lot of my floor buddies that was on my floor in Cary. So it's just one of those things, you know, you never know how you would connect with someone, and and I'll say the dorms was really much a good one. Also, I met a lot of people at the night spot, so that was like an actual little restaurant that we had within the dorm. So that was actually really a good experience for me. So
yeah, my friend Jeremy he lived below me my freshman year, so that's where I know him from, and that's a good thing. Also, I know a lot of people who have like shrugged them off, but like RAs set up events for dorms. Like, go to those. Like, if you have nothing to do and they're like saying, "Oh, come by for popcorn or something," go to it, because you never know who will be there that you can meet. I know a lot of people who say, "Oh, it's a lame. Like, I don't want to do that," but like, you never know. Like last year in Tark, we did a snowboarding trip. We went to the Perfect North Slopes, which is like in Indiana. It's like a man-made snowboarding place. And we just did that. And like me and Luke, my roommate at the time, we met some people like on the trip on the bus that we like still talk to, that we associate with. So like, go to those things. I know you might think, oh, it's lame. It's my RA's doing this. He has to do it, or she has to do it. But like, they don't. They're doing this because they want to give you the chance to meet people. That's what these events are for.
I still talk to my RA as well. Like, shout out to Tristan if you listening. Tristan is a big supporter of the podcast. He always helps out. He makes sure he posts on his Instagram pages and stuff like that. So shout out to Tristan. But yeah, to wrap things up, so I would say, what would be your final advice to someone wanting to go out there and make friends starting today?
Just do it. Like, you gain nothing from just sitting and wondering what if, or how can I do this, and you make yourself more nervous by thinking about it than if you see someone who's doing something that is interesting, or you in class and you have a project coming up and you want some help with it. Just do it. Just don't count to 3 and just go for it. Just talk to them. Like, there's no point in you sitting here saying, if I talk to them, they won't like me, or what if they like don't want to talk to me. Like, just go for it. Like, that's like, if you want to make friends, just go for it.
It's all a mindset that you have. Mm-hmm. So make sure you just be confident and talk to people. You never know how much of a connection you will have with a person until you actually go out there and try. Mm-hmm. So yeah, big thanks to Ty for coming on the podcast today. I really appreciate you coming on and giving your piece about, how to make friends on college and be a little social butterfly. That might be the title there. I'm gonna be a social butterfly.
Heck yeah, I like that. Thanks for having me on. I've been excited to be on. I wanted to be on.
I know. And I told you, I was like, I just got to figure out the topic. And once I figured out the topic, I got you on there. So it was good. It was good conversation. And once again, shout out to all of my Spotify and Apple Podcasts people. Make sure you drop a 5-star on Apple Podcasts. And shout out to YouTube gang. And shout out to my IG followers. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at the_wavepod. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.